Having our video session. Can we switch off the OT? Okay, thank you. So the next is the video session by Dr. Deepak Desai, sir.
Due to PPH is reduced significantly. Near-death incidences do occur. In India, it is the #1 killer of our mothers. So previously our definition was, there was a fault in the definition. 500 cc at the normal delivery and 1000 cc at the cesarean section. Why wait till 500 cc? We don't wait. So now new definition is there any post-delivery bleeding which has a potential to cause hemodynamic compromise should be considered at PPH. So एक बूंद भी अब जाना नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि अपने मदर्स सब एनीमिक रहते हैं ज़्यादा करके तो एक बूंद also counts there. So early detection is what is important. See, previously when these mobiles were not there, we had this 4 alarm clocks. They were, every 15 minutes their alarm clocks used to go. Relatives are told कि patient sister को लेके आओ. वो patient को every 15 minutes जो देखना होता है वो होता नहीं था. That was what we realized. 2-3 cases I realized that we are detecting PPH at the grade 3 and grade 4 by the time patient is already morbid. So अपने को early detection होना चाहिए. तो कौन से भी हालत में करो. जैसे कि we had these 4 alarm clocks and nowadays we have these monitors. And with monitors we we have a group of, our hospital has a group of, WhatsApp group. So where everybody is involved. So every 15 minutes the photograph of this monitor is sent and sister is told that see to it that you see whether there is a bleeding or not, or there is a, uterus is, the height of the uterus is increasing. So with this and little amount of fresh bleed, immediately the doctor has to be seen the patient. So that's why, see, we started this because we have got good surgical methods, we have got good uterotonics and all, but detection is late, that's why the main problem. So when we started doing the last almost 20 years now, and hardly we have given a blood transfusion. Hardly, I'm telling you, hardly we have given a blood transfusion in a PPH cases. We do have PPHs, but they are detected earlier and managed fast. So let's analyze this PPH. See, most of the cases are like primary atonic or traumatic or bleeding from the placental site. So primary atonic, we are using prophylactic techniques like uterotonics and third stage management and all. Traumatic PPH, I'll go in further details in traumatic later, and bleeding from the placental site. All these three, if not properly and timely treated, then they go into a secondary atonia. What is the secondary atonia? Because the patient goes into hypovolemia, hypotension, and hypoxia, mainly because once the patient goes into hypotension, the nature tries to save our brain and all, so the splanchnic blood supply and the uterus blood supply stops, reduces. So the oxygen supply is gone. So there is no ATP generation. So if ATP is not generated, how the energy is going to be there to contract? And that's why our uterotonics don't work in a secondary atonia. So we don't want our patients to go into a secondary atonia. That is what is our aim should be. And then there should not be any problem. So traumatic PPH. In a vaginal delivery, we'll be having either a bleeding vagina, bleeding from the vagina wall, or bleeding from the cervix and bleeding from the lower part of lower segment. So most of the times what happens, see, vaginal bleeding we know exactly दिखता है कि इधर से bleeding आ रहा है, लेकिन cervical bleeding is missed because most of the times what happens when the baby comes out, there is a stretching and that causes, the mucosa gets stressed, and mucosa is a single layer columnar epithelium. Below that there are vessels, so tear हो जाता है. अपने देखते हैं कि suction evacuation करते समय अगर रिलीज नहीं करो सक्शन और खींचो तो वहाँ से ब्लीडिंग होना चालू हो जाता है. पाइल्स का ब्लीडिंग कैसा होता है? सेम. सो एंड इट अपीयर्स दैट इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द यूट्रस. माउथ से आता है, माउथ ऑफ वोम से आता है, तो अपने को लगता है सो यूट्रस कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड है तो भी वी कीप ऑन पुशिंग ऑन यूट्रोटॉनिक्स. सो वंस द यूट्रस इज वेल कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड, सी इट इज एंड द पेशेंट इज ब्लीडिंग, it is bleeding from the cervix and that is the mucosal tears. So these mucosal tears are missed. Most of the times what happens, traumatic PPH, cervical tear यानी अपने को सिखाया गया कि खोल के देखो अगर tear है कि नहीं. These apparent tears, they don't bleed much. Main is the cervical, the mucosal tears bleed. So if, and so the vaginal delivery में bleeding from the vagina can be easily tackled, bleeding from the cervix, and bleeding from the lower part of lower segments. Nowadays, we have large babies, because of that, instrumental deliveries have increased. And other thing is nowadays with this lateral mastoplasty, again the cervical trauma is more. So so that is the thing. And in cesarean section again, either you have a upper segment bleed or upper part of lower segment, lower part of lower segment, extension of lower LSCS skin, and broad ligament hematoma. So इसमें कहाँ क्या करना है वो important है सबसे. So when you see that uterus is well contracted and patient is bleeding, consider it to be a traumatic bleed or small placental piece remaining. So you have to have a bundle approach. Uterus contract होने के लिए अपन already uterotonics दिया हुआ है. Evacuate the uterus and take sutures on the cervix. So conditions which might cause traumatic PPH in vaginal delivery is precipitate delivery, fetal macrosomia, scarred cervix, instrumental deliveries, induced and augmented labors, lateral metroplasty. All this has increased. ये सब बढ़ गया है, इसके लिए bleeding बढ़ गया है, इसके लिए PPH हो गया है ज़्यादा. तो उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? I am going to focus more on a prophylaxis. We have a medical prophylaxis, we are using it outright. But surgical prophylaxis, so in all these cases where we suspect कि precipitate delivery हो गई है, macrosomia है, ऐसे कुछ भी रहा, तो immediately you take lateral cervical stitches. 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and the bleeding will stop. So ये करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो ये important steps हमने चालू किए, तब से कुछ problem नहीं है. आते आते ही मैं एक lateral stitch लेके आया हूँ. So safely I could come. So traumatic PPH in LSCS, again same, fetal macrosomia and deeply engaged head. When you get the head out, again the lower segment is stretched and you get bleeding. So apparently अपने को लगता है कि ऊपर से आ रहा है, uterus contracted है and bleeding, it is a traumatic bleeding. So to understand what to do, we have to see the blood supply of the. See, the uterine artery from anterior division comes like this. It divides into two, ascending uterine, the descending, and there are cervical branches from the uterine also, and there are vaginal arteries which are giving branches to cervix also. So when bleeding from the, so when in a cesarean section, if there is a bleeding from the upper part of lower segment, you can take a suture here that Dr. Mahesh Gupta showed us today. So lateral stitch here and the bleeding is stopped. If it is lower down, lower part of lower segment, here there is a niche, because there if you try to take a stitch, you are close to ureter. So in this lower part of lower segment, whenever there is a bleeding from lower part of lower segment, go and do internal iliac. Traumatic PPH, as doctor said, internal iliac works only in traumatic PPH mainly, is because of that. See, in a atonic PPH, you have to just reduce the blood supply to the uterus. So there you just take a lateral stitch here and it works. So in atonic PPH, internal iliac की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. It is not going to work. And one important thing is in internal iliac ligation, I'll come to that later also, but only internal iliac artery ligation is not going to work. मैंने यहाँ बांध दिया, यहाँ का supply गया, लेकिन ovarian axis is there. So it has to be combined with a ascending uterine so that ovarian axis is gone and the internal iliac. So we'll concentrate on cervical here. So cervix suture करने के लिए you used to use sponge holding forceps, but most of the times you have found that कभी suture लेते तो उसके eye से चला जाता है. तो इसीलिए you can modify this. This is a cervix holding forceps, very easy, and we have to have a good retractors. This is our retractor which we have modified from the Verjam's retractor. It is very easy to work in the cavities. So to eliminate morbidity and mortality of the postpartum hemorrhage, let us start using prophylactic measures, even surgical measures. Let us detect the hemorrhage, obstetric hemorrhage early, and let us analyze PPH and treat it properly, and we shall achieve the goals. So let's see the videos now. First, I'll show you cervical stitch. This we do it as a prophylaxis. So here in this case, you see that she is not bleeding much. She is not bleeding. But there is a tear, and this was a large baby which we have delivered. So I don't want the patient to go in the wards and then start bleeding. So lateral stitch le lene hai. So this is a simple stitch which you take, hold with, this was a old time technique, so where I am using a sponge holding forceps. It is better to have two assistants and good retraction. So a sim speculum one and a good retractor on the upper part. So here you can see. So you can easily see the uterus. Uterus is mobile organ. थोड़ा सा ये करो या तो सिस्टर को ऊपर से जरा प्रेस करने को बोलो, सर्विक्स आराम से दिख देता है. So here we use polyglactin 910, 10 या 1 number, 40 mm needle. We take a double suture like this because see this acts as a, first suture acts as a stay, you pull down and take another suture. So you can take a larger bites so the bleeding can stop. So see, if you see the blood supply to the uterus and the cervix, the vessels, they are coming on the lateral sides and then go in an arcuate fashion. They go circular and then they go have a radial arteries. So when you take a lateral stitch, you obliterate this. So but there is a excessive bleeding and tears. This also is not going to work. So there you will require a vertical stitch because if you see the blood supply, ऐसे आते हैं फिर बाद में ऐसे जाते हैं. तो अगर vertical stitch लिए तो on uterus as well as on this works very well. So recently we have started taking sutures, which I'll see. This is, I am taking a double stitch now. Here with this, a suture can go through the eye of the forceps. So on the other side now. This is cranial end, caudal end. Simple stitch can be practiced on any patient also. So whenever there is a large baby, whenever there is a precipitate labor, when there is a scar on the uterus, your cervix, you take this stitch. And it has worked the wonder. Simple. Only thing, good exposure is required. So you have a good assistance. And I'll show another video now. This is lateral vertical stitch. It's too bright, I suppose. Is it visible too bright? It's too bright, so I'll another video I'll show. I think this is better. Oh, here again you can see this patient was bleeding. So we have so first take a lateral and then go vertical. So here we have taken a lateral stitch first. So go, like take a lateral stitch, go up, come from anterior to posterior, and then come down, and near the os, you go from back to anterior again. So here I am going from posterior surface of the cervix near the os. So it becomes like a 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, vertical lateral stitch first, that acts as you can stay also, pull down, then go as high as possible, almost up to the junction of the vagina and cervix, and there you go from anterior to posterior, then from posterior near the os, from posterior to anterior, and tight. So it blocks all the vessels, and this works very well when there is cervix is profusely bleeding. Pardon? See, uh, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Say now I'm taking a stitch at 9 o'clock. You go as a, just a lateral stitch लेते वैसा 9 o'clock के लिए, and then you go up anteriorly as high as possible, then go vertically down posteriorly and come downwards near the os, go from posterior to anterior and tight. So it will be like ऐसा स्टिच लेके आगे जाके ऊपर से पीछे आके आगे. So it is actually same suture, same. Yeah, continuous. So this I'll explain it on cesarean also. Same thing we take it on the cesarean also. So here again, we are using the forceps. So ये sponge holding के bigger ये लगा दें. So here again, we'll take first lateral stitch. So either you can see if patient is not much bleeding, you can just take lateral stitches, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. If patient is profusely bleeding, you can take these stitches, then go up and come down, and so it will vertically notch like. So it works very well. Practicing is also very easy. So here again, ये अभी मैं ऊपर, अभी यहाँ first I came to os, then अभी ऊपर गया, and then I'm like, so this vertically it will. Posterior, हाँ, posterior to anterior and tight out. Yeah, it works very well. As up as you go. See, say 3 o'clock I have taken, then I go up as high as possible and see to it that you are more close to the medial side. That is what you want.
Our aim is to reach the internal os.
Yeah, as high as possible.
Then you said not that we have to take out the stitch at the level of the os. So you mean internal os?
Yeah. So the other thing is that if doing this, again still the patient bleeds, then the patient is bleeding from the mucosa of the lower segment, lower part of lower segment. So in a vaginal delivery, maximum burnt is on the os. So the most of the times it bleeds from the periphery of the os. So there it works very well. But if suppose in a larger baby instrumental delivery, if it goes layer up, then the patient is bleeding from the lower part of lower segment, and if the patient is bleeding from the lower part of lower segment, uterus is well contracted. Here you have to do only internal iliac artery ligation. Otherwise this patient is going to bleed, and this patient is going to a secondary atonia where you will have to do internal iliac plus a compression stitches or hysterectomy. That's the thing. So let's see how it works in a cesarean section. Cesarean section again. See, Dr. Mahesh Gupta told us about the lateral stitches on the ascending uterine. But here again, if you see, the blood supply to the uterus is coming from the ovaries as well as the uterine, and going, these are vessels are going in arcuate fashion like this. So if you take a vertical stitch, this stitch has now been demonstrated in Bombay. I think Dr. Ashokananda from JJ Hospital, he has published one paper on this also. So here you go up, again a vertical stitch like that. So here now, see here the cesarean is already done. So here now we'll be taking a lateral stitch now. See here, this was a case of placenta previa. So here, this is a lateral stitch we are taking. As in a, see we go more medially, tight medially over there. This is what Dr. Mahesh told us. This will reduce the blood supply to the uterus, that is definitely. But now I'll be taking a stitch vertical so that the blood vessels going from lateral to medial side, they will get blocked. So here again go as low as possible, retract the bladder, go low as possible, and then come out posteriorly between the uterosacrals. So here I have come posteriorly, and then you come close to the, from posterior to anterior, close to the round ligament. So here we are come. So this area, whole of this area will get obliterated. So we anchor this to the suture, the incision line, so that it will not slip. So now when I tight this will obliterate all the vessels which are going from lateral to medial side. The arcuate vessels which are going from the that ovarian axis se jo aate hai. Ovarian axis goes like this, utero-ovarian axis, and the vessels going like this, they are obliterated like this. So now here you can see it is totally, see, the uterus is getting, so here it is getting obliterated. This works very well. Recently, we have last 7-8 cases, we have started using this, and in cases of placenta previa and all, it works very well. So we did not require any internal iliac ligation for that also. So here you can see. So same procedure like we do it on the cervix also, same. So the left side is already taken. Here is already it is taken. So this is a simple, and especially for a placenta previa, grade 1, grade 2, it can be easily done. So here in this case, normally when you keep uterus for a longer time outside, exposed to the atmosphere, it desiccates, and desiccation is the worst trauma, and that's why. Okay, this is last one. So desiccation is the worst trauma. Again in PPH, I'm telling you, when uterus remains outside for a longer time, it desiccates, and the uterus, the cells will not contract properly. So just hydrate the vessels just by giving saline wash. So we just put on saline whenever the uterus is out for a longer time, we just give like this. Thank you very much. We'll see, internal iliac ligation has to be done. If all this fails, we have to do an internal iliac ligation. In my next lecture, I'll show you how to do internal iliac ligation and all. So, thank you.
Then President ISOPAB, sir, please come on the dais to chair the session. And we'll quickly have the session of Dr. Nalini Mishra, madam.
A very, very good morning to all the beautiful ladies and gentlemen of Patna. I'm really so much thankful to the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to come here and talk to all of you. और जो बात इनविटेशन से ज़्यादा है वो है आप सबका जो अफेक्शन है और जो आपकी हॉस्पिटैलिटी है. So huge round of applause for Patna Obs-Gynae Society. Can I have my presentation, please?
Nalini earlier was a professor at Raipur Medical College, and I think now she is the dean of which medical college?
Madam, it's LN Medical College. It's the biggest private
Yeah.
medical college of Central India.
Of Central India, that is
Yeah.
in Bhopal.
So we have
Okay.
250 MBBS and 158 PG seats.
Yeah, and she continues her work, and recently she has again published a paper where she has compared the clot observation test with the levels of fibrinogen. And I think that has been recently published, which I can share with all of you. So she is really into research, and all of us are aware about the Chhattisgarh balloon. And not only that, you know, she has also innovated a plastic drape for the blood collection. The plastic apron which we have in labor room, we can just seal it and use it, and it becomes very easy. You just hold the plastic apron and seal one of the end, and then you
Very kind words by Sheila Mane ma'am. And while they are loading the presentation, I can tell you that the CG drape and CG balloon and one more easier way of making a conventional condom balloon tamponade, the easy balloon, they are all available on YouTube. And I can share the link. And if you just type the low cost innovations for diagnosis and management of PPH, then it will appear. So there are many videos on this thing, yes. When we talk of PPH, everybody knows that what a killer PPH is. It kills one woman every 6 minutes. And the uterine balloon tamponade is one of the key component in the management of this postpartum hemorrhage, which is atonic in 80% of the cases. So we all know the definition of PPH, maybe quantitative, qualitative, but whenever a skilled birth attendant feels that the bleeding is excessive and worrisome, that is PPH. So this, I was talking about the Chhattisgarh drape, and it is prepared from the plastic apron which is available, which is supplied in the delivery kit. So you can just seal the lower margin and you can make it, and it's available on the YouTube. It is prepared there at the point of care. It's not a commercial device, so you can prepare it. It costs only 15 rupees, and after the use you just have to send it in the yellow bag for incineration. So it's very, very eco-friendly also. Once the PPH is diagnosed, we have to go for the PPH care bundle by WHO. So all of us know what is this motive. Motive, M for uterine massage, O for oxytocic agent, T for tranexamic acid, and IV for isotonic crystalloids. So it's always a teamwork. I won't be going into detail because I have to show the videos also, but the obstetrician is the team leader. जैसे ही bleeding शुरू होती है डिलीवरी के बाद, reflexly आपका हाथ सुप्राप्यूबिक एरिया पे जाना चाहिए, यूट्रस वहाँ है कि नहीं, और अगर है तो उसकी टोन कैसी है. एंड इफ इट इज एटोनिक, विच इज द केस 70 to 80% ऑफ द टाइम, स्टार्ट मसाजिंग. And then you don't leave the patient, you start shouting, you start giving instructions, and everybody else, at least 2 to 3 persons, whosoever is there, they come to help you. And this video I am not showing because I have many more videos. So once this first care bundle of motive, massage, oxytocic agent, tranexamic acid, and this you are continuing, at the same time you have to ensure that the bladder is evacuated. हमेशा catheterize करवाना ही है. Then you rule out the traumatic causes कि वहाँ tear तो नहीं है और retained products तो नहीं है, any placenta or clots, then you have to rule that out. Even if in spite of all this, if the patient is bleeding, you have to escalate. Escalate, आगे जाना है. आगे जाना means क्या करना? We have to go for the bundle 2, and the bundle 2 is the refractory PPH bundle. So what is that? When the bleeding which doesn't respond to initial treatment, it has to have the additional set of intervention, and that is bundle 2. क्या है bundle 2 में? इसमें there are 2 compressions and 2 devices. 2 compressions are bimanual uterine contraction, compression. हम सबको पता है कैसे करना है. हाथ दर्द करने लगते हैं उसमें 2 मिनट के बाद. Then if the patient is bleeding excessively, manual aortic compression, very, very important. While you are preparing for the these devices and all, you just do the manual aortic compression. then the intrauterine balloon tamponade and
Recording in
non-pneumatic
progress.
anti-shock garment. So this is as per the recommendation of WHO FIGO, huge evidence base. Why tamponade? क्यों tamponade की बात क्यों करती हैं सारी bodies? इसलिए because there has been a systemic review and all the conservative surgical methods, second line interventions were found to have the efficacy at par. ये सारी चीज़ें बराबर इफेक्टिव हैं. तो कॉमन सेंस क्या कहता है? जो भी चीज़ सबसे कम इन्वेसिव हो, सबसे आसान हो और सबसे इफेक्टिव हो, इक्वली इफेक्टिव, यू हैव टू गो फॉर दैट. सो दैट्स अ बेसिक सिंपल कॉमन सेंस. And it has a huge recommendation by all the authorities across the world to be medico-legally safe. Then what is the basic method of creating tamponade? Basically क्या है? एक गुब्बारा है, एक बलून है जिसको हम यूट्रस के अंदर डालते हैं, इन्फ्लेट करते हैं और उसको वहाँ रखते हैं 6 to 24 hours and then you deflate it. So it compresses the bleeding sinuses, or there are other mechanisms also, won't be going into detail of it. But if the bleeding stops, we say tamponade test positive. Patient has responded, so tamponade test positive. If she doesn't respond and continues to bleed, then that's a negative tamponade test and you have to go for further treatment, maybe the surgical intervention. अब सवाल ये आता है कि कब यूज़ करना है, क्यों करना है, ये तो समझ में आ गया. कब यूज़ करना है? कैलिफोर्निया मैटरनल क्वालिटी केयर कोलैबोरेटिव कहता है कि जब obstetric shock index more than 1 है but less than 1.5, has crossed 1 but has not yet progressed to 1.5 is the ideal time. We'll see what the OSI is. FIGO in its guideline of 2022 says that it is very effective before, when it is placed before the onset of advanced shock. So what is this obstetric shock index? हमको बहुत लोगों को पता भी है. सीधे सीधे याद करने की बात है कि हार्ट रेट अपॉन सिस्टोलिक बीपी, कितना पल्स चल रही है, कितना सिस्टोलिक बीपी है. अगर पल्स 90 है, सिस्टोलिक बीपी 110 है, तो आप OSI लेस देन 1 है. नॉर्मली ऑब्स्टेटिक्स में 0.7 to 0.9 है नॉर्मल वैल्यू. इफ इट इज क्रॉस्ड 1, so that is not normal. If it is crossed 1, that means the patient has lost more than 1 liter or 15% of her blood volume. If it is more than 1.5, then the patient has lost 1.5 liters or more than 30% of her blood volume. तो हमको UBT ideally कब डालना है? When it is between 1 to 1.5. So ideally, किसी भी time you are doing the first line management, the pulse crosses दी सिस्टोलिक बीपी. आपका एनेस्थेटिस्ट, आपका हेल्प जो वहाँ पर लेबर रूम में, वो कहते हैं मैडम बीपी ठीक है, 100 है सिस्टोलिक, 110 है. आप उससे पूछिए कि पल्स कितनी है. इफ़ द पल्स इज़ 120, 130, सो दैट इज़ OSI मोर देन 1. क्यों? बिकॉज ऑफ द चेंजेस इन द प्रेगनेंसी, फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंजेस, they when before the fall of the systolic blood pressure, heart rate rises and thus the obstetric shock or the shock index increases. So always consider pulse and systolic blood pressure ratio. सीधा सीधा. So tamponade कौन सा, क्यों करना, कब करना, कौन सा करना? बहुत सारी चॉइसेस है हमारे पास, कमर्शियली अवेलेबल भी हैं और कुछ हैं जो हम खुद बना भी सकते हैं. तो यूट्राइन स्पेसिफिक बलून tamponade डिवाइसेस हैं. कॉमनेस्ट यूज इज बकरी बलून. ऑल दीज हैव ड्रेनेज चैनल. जो दूसरी है लावी, ASM, UBT, इन सब में ड्रेनेज चैनल नहीं है, सेंट्रल ड्रेनेज चैनल नहीं है. अब लो रिसोर्स सेटिंग में साहिबा अख्तर जी ने बनाया था कन्वेंशनल कॉन्डोम बलून tamponade. उन्होंने तो रेड रबर कैथेटर के ऊपर कॉन्डोम लगा के उसको बांधा था, और हम बनाते हैं, अभी तक बनाते भी थे, लेकिन उसमें थोड़े से प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं. हम उसको धागे से या किसी भी सूचर मटेरियल से बांधते हैं. मान लीजिए दैट knot is loose, then this saline leaks, so your patient is bleeding and your balloon is leaking. आपने बोला ऐसे कैसे लीक होगा, टाइट कर दिया, so we practically strangulate it, then the saline will not go inside and there is no drainage channel. तो हमने कहा कि ठीक है, हम लो रिसोर्स सेटिंग है, और अगर हमारे पास बकरी बलून खरीदने के लिए पैसे नहीं है, और अगर होते भी तो हम नहीं खरीदते, क्योंकि हमने अपने जुगाड़ से देसी बकरी बलून बना लिया. उसका नाम है छत्तीसगढ़ बलून. आप उसको बना सकते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग यूज़ भी कर रहे हैं अक्रॉस इंडिया एंड सो मेनी पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड ऑल्सो। आप उसको बना लें, क्योंकि स्टेप्स थोड़ा याद करनी पड़ती है। उसको ईटीओ करवा लें, जो आप देख रहे हैं राइट साइड में, ये लेफ्ट साइड में ईटीओ करवा के रख लें लेबर रूम में और ओटी में। तो दिस हैज़ बीन पब्लिश्ड बाय फीगो हाउस IJGO in our own Jogi, and I'm really happy to share that it has recently been cited in the FIGO recommendation 2022. So how do we make it? हमको क्या चाहिए? फोलीज कैथेटर, एक चीज़ का ध्यान रखना है कि थोड़ा सा बिगर फ्रेंच का लेंगे 2022-24 का, अदरवाइज आपके पास जो उससे भी बना सकते हैं, बट प्रेफरेबली 22। कॉन्डोम चाहिए, सीजर्स और सिरिंज चाहिए। हम देखेंगे कैसे बनाते हैं। तो ABCD से इसको याद रख सकते हैं। यूट्यूब पे वीडियो अवेलेबल है। A is for air, so inflate at least 10 ml of air in the bulb of the Foley's catheter, because we are going to replace the bulb of the Foley's with a bigger bulb which is made of condom. अब इसको आप, you can wound it around your finger and just cut it with the scissors, so पटाखे जैसी आवाज़ आएगी फट से। Then आप scissors का एक आर्म उसमें डालिए and cut this all around। ये जो हमने छेद बनाया था इसको चारों तरफ काट लीजिए, फिर जो अपर फ्लैप है उसको ऊपर रिवर्ट कर दीजिए और नीचे वाले फ्लैप को नीचे कर दीजिए। द आइडिया इज टू एक्सपोज द होल जो शेफ्ट के ऊपर है, बल्ब के एरिया का जो होल है, क्योंकि इससे हमको सलाइन इन्फ्लेट करना है। नाउ इन द प्रॉक्सिमल पार्ट ऑफ दिस फोलीज कैथेटर रोल द कॉन्डोम। तो उसको राइट हैंड से उसको टिप को पकड़ लीजिए कॉन्डोम के साथ और उसको जेंटली रोल कर दीजिए। ये हो गया बी फॉर बल्ब। सी इज़ फॉर कटिंग। अब हमको सूचर मटेरियल नहीं यूज़ करना है, तो हमको रबर बैंड बनानी है, जो हम फोलीज कैथेटर के यूरिनरी ड्रेनेज पोर्ट से हम रबर बैंड पतली पतली काटेंगे। देन डी इज़ डबल एप्लीकेशन। तो पहली रिंग उठाएंगे और उसको नेक पे लगा देंगे। हम जहाँ पर बल्ब था वो उस बल्ब की जगह हम अपर पोर्शन में पहली रिंग को लगा देंगे। तो ये डबल एप्लीकेशन ऑफ द फर्स्ट रिंग। ये देखिए कि वो होल के ऊपर नहीं आ जाए। और सेकेंड रिंग को हम लगाते हैं 1.5 to 2 सेंटीमीटर्स अवे फ्रॉम द डिस्टल एंड। ये ध्यान रखें कि ऐसा ऐसा मुड़ना नहीं चाहिए। जो कैथेटर है दैट शुड रिमेन स्ट्रेट। तो ये हमने लगा दिया लोअर पोर्शन में। सो दिस इज़ डबल एप्लीकेशन ऑफ द रिंग। तो ये रिंग आपको सस्ती है क्योंकि यहीं इसी में से हमने काट ली है। नाउ यू कट। ई इज़ फॉर एक्सीजन। ABCDE। एक्साइज the upper portion of the condom and catheter together at the middle of the urinary drainage hole। अब ये टॉप से आपका ड्रेनेज होल बन गया, सेंट्रल ड्रेनेज होल। तो ये आपका बन गया। इसको बिकॉज ये कॉन्डोम जो है इट इज़ पैक्ड अंडर हाइजीनिक कंडीशन, स्टेराइल नहीं होता, इसलिए हमने इसको 3 मिनट तक के बिटाडीन सोल्यूशन में डाल के रखते हैं। एक सलाइन की बॉटल को खोल लीजिए। ये छत्तीसगढ़ ड्रेप है, आप देख रहे हैं, इसमें 1 लीटर के करीब ब्लड लॉस हो गया है। और you take 2 big speculums and catch hold of the anterior and the posterior lip of the cervix. So take big speculums should always be kept there in your PPH tray, and always prepare a PPH box. Now take out this CG balloon and this just insert it. It goes very easily, it goes inside जब तक कि उसका जो रिंग है वो आपका upper portion of the os में दिखने लगे। So this is done, and then you just connect the urinary drainage port, and before that we can pack the vagina। ये इसका सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज है क्योंकि हमको ऑनगोइंग ब्लीडिंग जो है वो ऑस पे या वेजाइना में देखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। हमारे पास सेंट्रल ड्रेनेज पोर्ट है, इसलिए हम वेजाइना को पैक कर सकते हैं। अदरवाइज कन्वेंशनल कंडोम बलून टेम्पोनाड में क्या होता है कि हम जब इन्फ्लेट करना शुरू करते हैं तो 100-150 के बाद वो बाहर आना शुरू हो जाता है। यहाँ पर हमने पैक कर दिया, सो it is not expelled now through the bulb inflation port, because we have replaced the bulb of the Foley's with a bigger bulb which is made of condom, so we'll be inflating through the bulb inflation port। Now take the syringes alternatively। syringes से इसलिए डालना पड़ेगा क्योंकि पॉजिटिव प्रेशर से डालना पड़ेगा, जैसे हम Foley's को इन्फ्लेट करते हैं उसी मेथड से ये इन्फ्लेट होगा। तो एक हमने सलाइन की बॉटल ऊपर से खोल के रख दी थी। Maximum arbitrary amount is 500 ml, and you can see the ongoing bleeding। Now the bleeding has stopped, so the column has stopped moving, or the bleeding is less than 1 ml per minute। तब हम कहते हैं कि ये बंद हो गया, hemostasis हो गई। आप देखिए the balloon is inside the uterus, and after that you catheterize the woman, give her 1 dose of antibiotic, mark the margins of the uterus, and then put her on oxytocin drip for 4 to 6 hours. Then after that you can stop and you can remove. ये अच्छा cesarean section में है, ये placenta previa की patient थी और you'll see that she has been bleeding heavily. ये placenta निकालने के बाद and then there was so much of oozing from the lower segment of the uterus in spite of वो oxytocin वगैरह दिए, but as you know it was from the lower uterine segment, it was not responding. So we went ahead with putting in the Chhattisgarh balloon. So this is put through the uterine incision and then the lower portion is traversed out through the cervical canal, through the vagina by an assistant, and then you just inflate it to 50 ml or so, and then you can close the uterine incision and then inflate it further till the blood column stops moving in the drainage port of this thing, urosec, and then you close the abdomen once the hemostasis has been achieved. So that is how we use it in a cesarean section. During cesarean section, it's your choice whether you want to go for the compression sutures or you want to go for balloon tamponade. But after vaginal delivery, balloon tamponade is more practical because you don't have to go for laparotomy in 86% of the instances. So how do you deflate? 6 to 24 hours later. कई लोग कहते हैं कि कैसे निकालना है, 50-50 ml करके निकालें, कुछ नहीं करना है, इसमें एक नीडल डाल दीजिए. आपको याद होगा रेसिडेंसी के टाइम पे जब कभी कभी वो सरकारी वो निकलते नहीं थे कैथेटर्स, तो हम इसमें नीडल डाल के रख देते थे, वो धीरे धीरे सेलाइन डिफ्लेट हो जाएगा. आप उसमें एक नीडल डाल दीजिए, किडनी ट्रे में रख दीजिए, राउंड पे चले जाइए, जब तक लौटेंगे आधे पौन घंटे में सारा सेलाइन बाहर आ जाएगा. यू टेक आउट द वेजाइनल पैक एंड दी सीजी बलून विल come out. So like that. और recurrence अगर हो तो पैक मत निकालिए. आज तक हमें कोई recurrence नहीं मिला है. We have used n number of this thing. अब कहते हैं कि भाई ड्रेनेज पोर्ट क्यों चाहिए, कई लोग कहते हैं ड्रेनेज पोर्ट की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ड्रेनेज पोर्ट इसके लिए तो सर यूनुस बकरी ने खुद लिखा है इंटरनेट पे कि इट्स ए brilliant solution because we got to know that the tamponade test is positive or not. दूसरी बात, मुझे किसी ने जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं लखनऊ में, शायद किसी ने मुझसे बोला था कि मैडम ड्रेनेज से हमको ये पता चलता है कि हाँ अब ये ब्लीडिंग बंद हो गया एंड वी फील मोर कॉन्फिडेंट. तो ये बात तो सच है. और यू कैन पैक द वजाइना while inflating. So it's a diagnostic as well as therapeutic tool. अगर मान लीजिए डालने के बाद भी ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, इसका मतलब कि आपको आगे जाना है. तो अगर कमर्शियल वर्सेस सेल्फ मेड में हम जाते हैं तो हम क्यों खरीदेंगे जब हम खुद वो काम 50 रुपए में कर सकते हैं या 100 रुपए में, तो हम 9,000 की चीज़ क्यों खरीदेंगे. हम भारतवासी हैं, हम जुगाड़ कर लेते हैं. तो हम सेल्फ रिलायंट है. और इसका कॉस्ट इफेक्टिवनेस के लिए एक मेटा एनालिसिस हुई थी जिसमें छत्तीसगढ़ बलून वाज फाउंड टू बी द लीस्ट कॉस्टिंग डिवाइस. इवन ये कन्वेंशनल कंडोम बलून टेम्पना से भी सस्ता पड़ता है क्योंकि कन्वेंशनल में भी आप यू विल टाई इट विथ समथिंग ना. सो नाउ इट इज़ नोबडी यूजेस थ्रेड. तो थ्रेड तो किसी के लेबर रूम में होता नहीं है. क्लिप्स लगाते हैं हम अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड में भी. अब ये आप सिल्क लगाएं या एक वाइक्रिल खोलें तो वो 300 रुपये का पड़ेगा. इससे अच्छा रबर बैंड वहीं से काट लीजिए फोलीज में से, उससे बांध दीजिए तो आपका सस्ता पड़ेगा. सो दिस देयर आर सम कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशंस. एलर्जी टू लेटेक्स मुझे आज तक मिली नहीं, बट जो भी है इन्फेक्शंस हो या मालफॉर्मेशंस हो या रप्चर हो तो या आर्टीरियल ब्लीडिंग हो, देन वी डोंट गो फॉर दिस. And complications are very rare in cases of previous cesareans only, and long term safety is there. ये एक सैंडविच सर्जरी है जिसमें we combine the balloon tamponade with compression suture. तो जिनमें अकेला tamponade या अकेला B-Lynch नहीं इफेक्टिव होने वाली हो, जैसे ये केस थी कि इसमें she was a grand multi and very anemic और यूट्रस एकदम फ्लैबी था. हमने कॉम्प्रेस करके जब देखा था तो ब्लीडिंग फिर भी हो रही थी. सो हमने पहले एक ओरिजिनल क्लासिकल B-Lynch सूचर डाला, उसके बाद उसके अंदर हमने टेम्पोनेट डाला और फिर पहले B-Lynch को टाई किया. B-Lynch को टाई करने के बाद अभी ये आप देख रहे हैं, अभी तो ब्लीडिंग हो रही है. B-Lynch टाई करने के बाद हम यूट्रस को क्लोज किया और यूट्रस क्लोज करने के बाद हमने फिर देखा कि कितनी ब्लीडिंग है. तो यूट्रस जब क्लोज करते हैं तो वी हैव टू टेक केयर दैट वी डू नॉट पंचर दी bulb of this thing. So uterus is क्लोज्ड. पहले से ही हमको एंगल पकड़ लेने चाहिए हमेशा जब भी बिलिंच लगाते हैं, सो दैट इट इज़ नॉट, दे डू नॉट गेट इन्वर्टेड. तो ये हो गया. अब हम देखेंगे कि कितना ब्लीडिंग है. सो ये सूचर क्लोज हो गया, यूट्राइन इंसिजन क्लोज हो गया, बिलिंच सूचर टाई हो गया था. ओ ब्लीड कर रही है, ये दिस इज द एडवांटेज ऑफ ड्रेनेज पोर्ट. देन विल इन्फ्लेट इट फर्दर जब तक के ब्लीडिंग नहीं बंद हो. इसमें हमको करीबन 280 ml डालना पड़ा था, एंड देन द ब्लीडिंग स्टॉप्ड, सो द हिस्टेरेक्टमी कुड बी सेव्ड. सो दिस इज व्हाट इट इज़. एक्सटेंडेड यूज़ हम कर सकते हैं. हमने इसको यूज़ किया है रिकरेंट यूट्राइन इन्वर्शन में. पहले हम वो लगाते थे, एक बहुत लेंदी प्रोसीजर होती थी, VNY सूचर्स, पता नहीं बहुत सारे मल्टीपल सूचर्स. उसके बाद एक पेशेंट थी जिसमें रिकरेंट इन्वर्शन हो रहा था, उसमें हमने एक बार करेक्शन करके ये डाल दिया, नेक्स्ट डे रिमूव किया, देन देयर वाज नो इन्वर्शन, रिकरेंस ऑफ द इन्वर्शन. एंड इन जैसे कभी हेपेटाइटिस ई या ए का एपिडेमिक आता है, उस टाइम आप बहुत सारे ड्रग्स नहीं यूज़ कर सकते, तो आप प्रोफाइलेक्टिकली यू कैन पुट इन द टेम्पोनाट. हमारे यहाँ अभी एक पेशेंट डिलीवर हुई थी, शी हैड सबम्यूकस फाइब्रॉइड एंड शी वाज ब्लीडिंग. तो उसमें भी हमने ये डाला बिकॉज दिस इज़ वेरी सॉफ्ट, सो इट टेक्स द शेप ऑफ द यूट्राइन कैविटी एंड वी कुड स्टॉप द ब्लीडिंग. ये थी एक ट्रॉमेटिक PPH में, अपेक्स ऑफ वेजाइना में टेयर था, रेफर होके आई थी पेशेंट. जितना भी सूचर ले रहे थे, सर्जिकल रिकोर्स इज ऑलवेज द फर्स्ट मेथड इन ट्रॉमेटिक PPH, बट इसमें जैसे ही सूचर ले रहे थे तो इट वाज सो वेस्कुलर एंड फ्राइबल दैट इट वाज ब्लीडिंग मोर एंड मोर. सो वी पुट इन दिस टेम्पोनाट एंड रिमूव्ड इट 24 आवर्स लेटर एंड पेशेंट वाज फाइन. एक Cloud9 हॉस्पिटल बेंगलोर में एक स्टडी हुई, नॉट ऑब्स्टेटिक्स बट नॉट PPH बट ऑब्स्टेटिक्स. ये एक उनकी प्रेशियस प्रेगनेंसी की पेशेंट थी. शी केम एट 22 वीक्स ऑफ जेस्टेशन, सर्विक्स 4 सेंटीमीटर डायलेटेड था, मेम्ब्रेन्स वेयर प्रोलैप्सिंग. तो इन लोगों ने दे रूल्ड आउट द इन्फेक्शन एंड दे वांटेड टू गो फॉर अ रेस्क्यू सर्कलाज. अब वो मेम्ब्रेन्स जो बल्ज कर रही थी वेजाइना में, उसको कैसे ऊपर करें, तो फॉर दैट दे हैव यूज दी छत्तीसगढ़ बलून. एंड बिकॉज एज यू इन्फ्लेट इट ना, तो इसका टिप जो है वो अम्प्लीकेट हो जाता है, सो इट डजेंट कॉज एनी ट्रॉमा टू द मेम्ब्रेन्स. तो इससे उन लोगों ने मेम्ब्रेन्स ऊपर की, सर्कलाज लगाया, इसको डिफ्लेट किया. द प्रेगनेंसी वॉज कैरिड टू टर्म एंड शी हैड अ हेल्दी बेबी. सो दैट वॉज रियली अ नाइस यूज ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़ बलून. एंड सो द कंक्लूजन इज it has a huge evidence based and least expertise is required. बहुत ही सस्ता है, very effective and you can use it many places. तो ये जुगाड़ है, हम भारतवासी जुगाड़ करने में बहुत माहिर हैं. So I am proud to be a भारतवासी. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, chairpersons.
Madam, I think you should stop saying it jugaad. You should say make in India. No, honestly. It means we do. Why should we say it's jugaad? We've done something at a much lower cost, which we are proud of. We made it in India. So
Okay,
it is
sir.
make in India. Next time, don't call it jugaad, madam.
Made in Bharat.
Madam, really, you are lucky to see your presentation. The one message is that, and it is everybody knows Dr. Nalini Mishra, the Chhattisgarh balloon. One is that the large amount of fluid can be given with using the condom, and to make a drainage system. That one limitation is every balloon till the date. So here it is the combination, and the maximum thing is that can be used very low resource person and in rural India also, and can be made. It will be better. It will also commercially very cheap and can be used. This is a very effective method.
We'll take the questions later. The OT is ready, so we'll go back to the OT. And after Dr. Deepak Desai's talk, we'll take the questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Extended use DIC. I have an experience of using it in cases of DIC. Okay, so because till you make all the arrangements till the blood comes, okay, yeah, you can use. In fact, the moment we used to try to deflate, the patient would bleed, and that patient, it must have been a subclinical amniotic fluid embolism. She was on ventilator, 80 transfusions, 4 gram of fibrinogen, balloon tamponade, anti-shock garment, all was used, patient recovered. Okay, yeah. Another case was a case of jaundice. Again, her INR was 2.4, no question of taking her to OT. So we used anti-shock garment, balloon, correction of DIC. We, that case gave prothrombin complex also because it was case of jaundice. Another case again, after MRP she started bleeding. We thought, I mean, she went into excessive hemorrhage into DIC. We had put, she received 30 transfusions and she also survived. So, you know, you have to stop the bleeding, arrest the bleeding.
Yes.
That is the main thing. And if you can use whatever is available, arrest the bleeding is the motto. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Really proud of you, madam, for such innovation. And let us now move on to OT, where Professor Padmashri, Dr. Shanti Roy, madam, is ready with her internal iliac ligation case, along with Dr. Alka Pandey, madam. So let us move over to OT. Yes, Dr. Meena Samant is there.
Question. पूरा सर एडहेशन है
एनएमसीएस से बात करो मैडम।
ये ट्यूब पकड़ा रहा है
Heard him, and now again academics, that is extraperitoneal internal iliac artery ligation for central placenta previa by Dr. Deepak Desai. He is a consultant at Virar Maternity Nursing Home, already introduced. Okay, so we are waiting to hear you.
Regarding central placenta previa, when the placenta, you all know, when the placenta is in the lower part of lower segment covering the os, then we call it central placenta previa. These cases should be, see, first one has to know that our limitations. We all know nowadays because of the sonography, we pre-diagnose central placenta previa. If you are able to do internal iliac artery ligation, then only tackle this case. Otherwise, refer it to the center where it can be done. This should be the baseline, because central placenta previa, if you see the lower part of lower segment bleeds, is actually can be tackled only by internal iliac ligation, whether it is a trauma or whether it is a placenta situated. So this is the indication for internal iliac ligation. So again, I am showing this slide because see, the blood supply and this area is, if you try to ligate it, the uterine artery here, the ureter is close by, so that's why you have to ligate it, the internal iliac artery, because first thing is that if you just ligate the uterine, it is not going to get, the blood supply is not going to get hampered, because the cervical branches, they come from little away, then vaginal branches also supply the lower segment. So that's why internal iliac ligation is must. Okay. So there are a number of methods of doing conventional internal iliac ligation. Like we have a approach to posterior peritoneum through posterior fold of broad ligament, through anterior fold of broad ligament. I am going to show you a easy way of doing an internal iliac ligation, which is extraperitoneal approach. So before that, we have to know the anatomy clearly. So we have to know all the anatomy clearly. So here you can see the common iliac artery is getting divided into external iliac, internal iliac, and internal iliac posterior division and anterior divisions. We are interested in the anterior division. So when you come from above, we have the ureter coming in the way, the external iliac vein and the internal iliac vein, they converge. So when you come from above, all this comes in a way. But if you see the anatomy, the internal iliac artery continues as an umbilical artery and then umbilical ligament. So if you just follow the umbilical ligament, you can go and to the internal iliac. So this is, so just to enumerate all the branches in a little different way.
Iliolumbar, lateral, sacral, superior, gluteal,
obturator umbilical, which gives superior vesicle, uterovaginal, middle rectal, inferior vesicle, internal pudendal and inferior gluteal, branches of arteria, iliac internal branches of arteria, iliac internal, iliac. So this was a schematic diagram, and this is a clear-cut anatomical dissection. Recently we had in Indore, so there I could get this anatomy dissected diagram, absolutely fabulous. See here you can see this green color is the obliterated umbilical artery. This is external iliac artery, this is internal iliac artery, divided into
Recording in progress.
yeah. So here this is anterior division. Here you can see the posterior division going there, and here all the branches, like this is umbilical artery, the superior vesical artery, then the inferior vesical artery, and here is the these are superior vesicle, superior vesical arteries. They are multiple, and this is the uterine artery. You can see the ureter crossing here. This is a tortuous artery. So this is the clear-cut diagram which I could get it anatomically. See here this is actually cadaver dissection. In pregnancy, this umbilical artery goes upwards, so that's why it almost comes as a perpendicular to the internal iliac. So when you follow this umbilical artery, you will be able to reach the anterior division of internal iliac. So for that, see, any surgery you have to have a good instruments. So important thing is like good retractors. Most of the times what we use is a Devers. Devers has got a convexity from so because of this convexity, most of the, see, we are operating in a cavity where it becomes a little difficult. So this is our modified Wertheim's retractor, which is very, very useful in all the cavities. And you have to have a good mixture. So mixture also, see, normally what mixture which we use is like which has got a serrations, and that serrations can, when you withdraw the mixture, can damage the internal iliac vein which is just sitting below. So these abrasions can cause bleeding. So you have to have a mixture which has got a catch inside, no serrations. Okay. So what are the advantages? There are reduced chances of complications like injury to ureter, external iliac and all. So we need not externalize the uterus, no need to pack the bowels, no chance of injury to sigmoid mesentery on left side, easy to learn and practice, can be performed quickly within few minutes, and post-op recovery is absolutely fast. Let's see the videos. This was a case of a central placenta previa, no blood available, hemoglobin of 9 grams and a severe bout of bleeding. So here, after doing the cesarean section, I do extraabdominal cesarean section. So here in the extraabdominal cesarean section, we are, see, just to get oriented, this is a left side, right side, cranial and the caudal. So let's see. So here, go between the rectus muscle and the peritoneum, and you can easily be able to find out the medial umbilical ligament. Medial umbilical ligament is the lateral summit of the bladder. You catch it. It is an obliterated umbilical artery, and just a finger dissection, and you can go down, and you will be able to go to the base of the umbilical artery, and that is internal iliac artery. So here you put the retractor and you will be able to see the umbilical artery. So this is umbilical artery you are seeing, internal iliac anterior division. Just a blunt dissection and you are there. Without much blood, there will not be any blood loss. So you have to, only thing is, important thing is that when you dissect, see to it you are not dissecting caudally, dissect it cranially, so there are no blood vessels there. So there is no, there are no capillaries or vena comitatus. You go down, there is vena comitatus. So there the chance of bleeding is there. So you just, dissect cranially and there will not be any capillary ooze also. So here you can see, appreciate that there is nothing. And now you can make fenestrations. So here again, making fenestration is also easy because the thick fascia is only up to this level. Below that, there is a loose connective tissue. The thick fascia is mainly made by nature to keep the vessel in, because the posterior division goes in the canal. So there, up to that level, only the thick fascia is there. Below that, the vessels are moving because the bladder vessels are there, the uterine vessels are there, where the organs are moving. So there is no thick fascia there. So it can easily make the fenestrations. And then you can pass the mixture from lateral to medial side. The mixture here is a little sigmoid shape, so it can be easily passed like. It takes hardly 2 minutes to reach the interiliac. Just to show you all the vessels, see here you can see this is the umbilical ligament, umbilical artery, which will give superior vesical vessels. You can see the superior vesical vessels coming. This is the thread on the interiliac, and this is the continuation of the, rather on this juncture, all the vessels like uterine and vesical, inferior vesical, all they come from this angle. So you have to just follow this, go to the base, go little upwards and ligate it. You are 100% sure that you will ligate it after the posterior division is given. I will show you here the posterior division. I will show you. This is just to see the anatomy. We usually prefer to take only one stitch. Ideally, one can ligate it here also. That will be the selective ligation here, because when you ligate after the umbilical, then we can save the superior vesicles also. So blood supply to bladder will not get hampered. So up till now you have not seen the ureter also. External iliac artery is also away. See, you can see here is the external iliac artery, quite far off. It doesn't come in your way, and here is the ureter passing at the junction. So when you go lower down, there are no vessel, no complicated structures which can be seen. So here you can see I am dissecting out to show the posterior division. So here it is the posterior division. So here when you come from above, you have to calculate 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter. But here you 100% you are sure that you will be ligating after the posterior. Here you can see the posterior division. So let's go on the other side now. Now we'll go on the other side. Again, identify the median umbilical ligament, hold it. I have held the umbilical ligament, and now I'll be dissecting at the base of it. So only thing is dissection should be cranially, not caudally, caudal. So this is the cranial end, this is caudal end, this is left side of the patient, this is right side of the patient. So here again I am making dissecting, and just put the retractor, pull it upwards, and you will be able to identify the internal iliac anterior division. See here now. See, it is easily seen, the anterior division. So we have held the umbilical ligament, and you can see the internal iliac vein will be sitting posteriorly and laterally. So here you will be able to identify it. See here. So here it is the posterior, this internal iliac vein. So when you come down, the internal iliac vein is also little on the lateral side. So because so that's why it is not possible to damage it like. So when you are up in the upper part, the chance of injury to internal iliac vein could be there like. So here now I have to pass the mixture from lateral to medial. When you pass from lateral to medial to lateral, there is a chance of damaging the internal iliac vein. So here you can see umbilical artery. umbilical ligament, umbilical artery, pasa thread. A sigmoid shaped mixture works very well for maneuvering. Here again the anatomy will be clear. I'll show you all the vessels there. So now, umbilical artery, the interiliac anterior division, interiliac vein, the external iliac vein here, the external iliac artery here, external iliac artery, external iliac vein there. So when you come from above, all this gets converged, and that's why you come across all these vessels from below. So the actually umbilical artery is like a continuation. The internal iliac artery continues as an umbilical artery. So here you can see the ureter is quite far off. So this is the let's see another case. I think I have time, no? So here this is another case of a central placenta previa. You can see, appreciate that there is a central placenta previa. If it comes out easily, you remove it, otherwise, no. Most of the times it comes out easily unless it is acrita and percrita and all. But usually central placenta previas are not no acritas and all. So most of the times that anterior placenta with a caesarean incision, there is something. So here we are removing the placenta. And then get the uterus out. And close it fast. And then immediately you go for a ligation of the, see here I have closed the uterus, and now I will be doing the lateral stitch. Because as I told you, internal iliac artery will not work, ligation will not work unless you close down the ovarian axis. So here we are taking the ovarian axis, and in case of placenta previas, either a central or even a grade 1 and 2, so there you take the chunk more of the uterine chunk also. Musculature भी ज़्यादा लेना है, जितना बीच में खाली एक 1 inch का gap रख के दोनों बाजू से, तो most of the lower segment is also obliterated. As I told you that we keep on giving saline wash so that uterus can remain contracted well. So इसके लिए वो करते हैं. Yeah, 10 millimeter. ये चालू है, central placenta के चालू है. So here now, after removing the placenta, I took a lateral stitch. तो lateral stitch में थोड़ा मैं पीछे ले देता हूँ. एक मिनट, मैं बैक वापस जा रहा हूँ. Because central placenta previa में ये important है कि you take the I'll just keep on. So here, after closing the uterus, you take stitch on the lateral aspect of the uterus. So that is very important. And then go for a internal iliac. So here again, I'll show the internal iliac only here. So here I am showing you how to take the lateral stitch. So here I will be taking the lateral stitch on the lateral aspect of the uterus, so that the main blood supply to the lower segment will get reduced, the ovarian axis. So here we take a bigger chunk and then go from lateral, take larger musculature, and this will obliterate at least 50% of the blood supply coming to the uterus, and then you go for an interiliac. So here we are taking this stitch, little broader stitch. ये होने के बाद में interiliac. Again here you can see. So here go between the peritoneum and the rectus, pierce the transverse fascia, and you will be able to identify the median umbilical ligament. Once the median umbilical ligament is seen, you just follow it to the base. And put the retractor upwards, dissect it upwards, and the interiliac artery is in the view. So in case of central placenta previa, when you after removal of the placenta or before the removal of placenta, you can take lateral stitch, remove the placenta, and then go for the interiliac. So for a central placenta previa, interiliac artery ligation is must. Even the placenta separated very well, bleeding is less, but then the trickle
Recording in
keeps up.
progress.
So here you can see the interiliac artery has come in the view. This is the umbilical artery here, the interiliac artery here, the external iliac artery here. So here is the interiliac artery. Here is the external iliac vein. So here I am making a fenestration again. So the fenestrations have been made. And now I will pass a mixture from lateral to medial aspect. In this case, I am showing that ligation after the umbilical artery. So how to approach that? So that the vessels, the umbilical artery will be saved, so the superior vesical arteries will be saved. So here, as usual, I have taken a thread above the umbilical artery on the interiliac, and then I'll go below the umbilical artery and come back downwards, so that I will be able to ligate it. See here now, this is a regular one. If I want to do it selectively, then I can go below the umbilical artery, come below, and then ligate it. This is a cranial end here. So here now I am going below the umbilical artery, getting that end below the umbilical artery, and I am not doing it directly, because if I start dissecting lower down, there is a chance of venules getting injured. So here I have done it selectively, the interiliac artery ligation of the rather uterine artery ligation, you can call it. So yeah, yeah. This is last step. Okay.
Winder, I think
Yeah.
we're excellently shown. The video
Okay.
is, I mean, clearly seen. The anatomy is very well explained, and I think the doubts
And it's
were very much clear.
just to show you, see, this was the end result. There is no bleeding at all. So that's usually what you see.
Only one query is,
Yes.
suppose if it is following a cesarean, you are doing an extraperitoneal cesarean, but everybody is not doing.
Yeah.
So
And the
certain situations,
Second section was in transperitoneal only.
okay, transperitoneal only.
So see, it is approaching is very easy. Whether it is in transperitoneal or extraperitoneal, you have to go between peritoneum and the rectus, identify the median umbilical ligament. Once you identify median umbilical ligament, job is simple. So in a routine cesarean sections, keep on identifying median umbilical ligament. Once you get used to it, go to the base.
Good. That's
Once
a
you go
good
to the base, so
take-home
practicing
message
is
and
very
a good
easy.
point.
Practicing
Yeah.
is very easy. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepak. I think very important message when you are passing your mixture, go from lateral to medial. Because there's not only the internal iliac vein, there's also the external iliac vein. And the external iliac vein injury is even worse. So always put your mixture lateral to medial. I think what is great is we've seen two different techniques of internal iliac. We've seen Shanti Roy madam do by the lateral approach. We've seen you do by the extraperitoneal approach. Let us hope that somebody will show us the posterior approach also today. Thank you, Deepak. I think we go back to the hospital for a short inauguration first.
Yeah, and one announcement. Anybody interested in learning extraperitoneal cesarean section, extraperitoneal internal iliac ligation is welcome at my house. We are a free workshop, so especially for the young generation, come anytime to Bombay.
And you'll get a very good packet of cashews from his own farm.
So thank you very much, sir, for this brilliant presentation. And so it was the grand inauguration of this workshop, and we will quickly move over to our next session, and that is by Dr. Shashi Lata Kabra, an internal iliac ligation. And for that, may I invite, we have past presidents of Patna Obs and Gynae Society, Dr. Kumkum Sinha ma'am, and Dr. Neelam ma'am. And along with that, we have our moderator, Dr. Usha Sharma ma'am. Dr. Usha Sharma ma'am, you are moderator in this workshop. Please come over the dais. Yes. So we have the blessings of all our past presidents of Patna Obs and Gynae Society, and it really means a lot to us. We have been working under their guidance. Let's again invite Dr. Abharani Sinha ma'am, our co-convener, to come over.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to chair this important session. It is my proud privilege to introduce Dr. Shashi Lata Kabra Maheshwari, Madam. She has been awarded IMA Appreciation Award, recipient of Wonder Foxy Award 2019, APJ Abdul Kalam Appreciation Award, IMA WDW Karamveer Award, Champions Award Obstetric Critical Care 2021. Again, APG Abdul Kalam Excellence Award in DGF 2022. DDU Hospital Best Doctor Award. I mean, she has so many awards. And latest perhaps is organized 82 workshops on PPH all over India. That's a very commendable thing. And she's associate of prestigious RCOG and patient right of teaching model on IIAL. So she will be speaking a life-saving procedure for intractable PPH, that is internal iliac artery ligation. And Madam, floor is yours. Please start.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a kind introduction. And first of all, my heartfelt thanks to Patna OBG Society, Dr. Meena Saman, Dr. Amita Sinha, and National Convener Foxy, Dr. Bhaskar Pal, and whole Foxy team for having me here. So, internal iliac artery is a life-saving procedure. And in order to save life, we have to learn this procedure. Move kaise karega? So, with our anatomy classes in first year, you can see here. The biggest vessel in our body at the level of L4 and L5, it divides into two common iliac arteries. And each common iliac artery in succession divides into external iliac artery and internal iliac artery. The lumen of the external iliac artery is bigger and that of internal iliac artery is little smaller. And this level is at L4 and L5. Then this insert had been shown here. Here you see this is one-sided common iliac artery. This is lateral side, this is medial side. This common iliac artery divides into external iliac and internal iliac. And internal iliac artery, just after its origin, gives the posterior branch. And we have to ligate this. So, the posterior division, as sir had said, are parietal branches. And we are concerned with the anterior division, and the most important arterial supply is uterine artery. Uterine artery bleeds 800 ml per minute during postpartum hemorrhage. So we have to control the bleeding in 7 to 10 minutes. So this is the collateral circulation. Now coming to the relations, anteriorly there is peritoneum. We call it retroperitoneum. जब हमको internal ileac करनी है, तब हमको retroperitoneum खोलना पड़ेगा. Then medially we have ureter. Gynecologists are always afraid of ureter. भाई ureter से नहीं डरिए. Ureter lies in the medial flap, such a goody structure कि भाई मैं तो medial flap में हूँ. You do whatever you want on lateral side. Then infерomedial, we have internal iliac vein. Laterally we have psoas major muscle and internal obturator muscle. And inferolateral we have obturator nerve. Now, this is one picture of after dissection. This is external iliac, this is internal iliac. I'll show you my own video. So how does it work? Bilateral internal iliac artery results in 85% reduction in pulse pressure and 50% reduction of blood flow. So basically it converts an arterial blood flow into a venous flow, and thus coagulation is facilitated. Bleeding is reduced and the life is saved. Technically it is difficult initially, but one picks up it very easily. तो मतलब आज का मैसेज ये है कि हम सबको इंटरनल आइलिक आर्टरी लाइगेशन सीख के जाना है. So latest FIGO guideline 2022, it recommends internal iliac artery ligation as one of the options to rapidly control postpartum hemorrhage for management of postpartum hemorrhage when medical non-surgical approaches and compression sutures fail. FIGO also recommends that all obstetricians familiarize themselves with the internal iliac artery location and with the technique of its ligation. अब एक दिन में तो सीख नहीं जाएंगे internal iliac artery. हम कोशिश करते हैं आज हम location सीखें, anatomy सीखें, technique सीखें और धीरे-धीरे we will go on. So there are two approaches, with uterus, without uterus. If hysterectomy is done, we can perform internal iliac artery ligation. If uterus is there, we can also perform internal iliac artery ligation. Those situations हमारे पास we have uterus present or not, and the approaches are two again, anterior approach and posterior approach. When we bring the uterus forward and open the posterior peritoneum, then it is called posterior approach near the pouch of Douglas laterally. And when we make a nick through the round ligament, then it is called anterior approach. These two are my best companions for performing internal iliac artery ligation. This is mixture forceps. In the evening at 5 to 7 p.m. in my workstation, I will show you this mixture forceps. And yeah, what is this? This is a thread number 1 silk, which is just doubled. And it really causes magic. So this is my video. When I used to be called in my labor room where we have 10,000 deliveries per annum. Then every time when I used to do internal iliac artery ligation, new batches of residents used to come and nobody knows what to do. They don't even know the anatomy. So that struck my mind and I made a model for this, at least to show them what actually internal iliac artery ligation is and what the anatomy is. Internal iliac artery is a retroperitoneal structure, and in order to ligate the internal iliac artery, we have to work in the depth of the abdomen. So that's why I have given to work in the depth of the pelvis. Now, thinking this is the abdomen, and abdomen opened. Now we are inside the abdomen. So in order to ligate the anterior division of internal iliac artery, we have to open the retroperitoneum. So after pushing the uterus anteriorly, we look at the retroperitoneum and we have to open the retroperitoneum. Now there are two methods of opening the retroperitoneum. One method is make a nick on the peritoneum 2 cm below and 2 cm lateral to the sacral promontory and enlarge that nick and open the peritoneum. So we will reach the bifurcation of the great vessels, bifurcation of the common iliac artery. And second method is, which is more commonly used by me, is make a nick in the middle of the round ligament in the peritoneum, and then from that nick proceed up to the base of the infundibulopelvic ligament, gently cutting the peritoneum about 7 to 10 centimeter, and then open that retroperitoneum. This can be opened with the uterus being there and even after the uterus is removed. And how to open the retroperitoneum? Once you have opened the retroperitoneum, then there will be two flaps, one medial and one lateral. This is the medial side and this is the lateral side, and medial flap always has ureter. So when you do internal iliac artery ligation, never get afraid of ureter, because ureter always remains in the medial flap. And this is the lateral flap. And how to see the structures below the retroperitoneum? You keep all the instruments aside, and just after opening the retroperitoneum, there is loose areolar tissue, so you just separate it with your finger movement without taking any instrument. And then you will see the bifurcation of the common iliac artery.
This is inverted
So,
Y.
in order to ligate the internal iliac artery ligation, the first important step is open the retroperitoneum in the vicinity of the great vessels. Second thing is recognize the bifurcation. Unless you recognize this bifurcation, we can't proceed anywhere. This looks like an inverted V, inverted Y. This is common iliac artery. This is showing only one side of the great vessels. This is lateral side. This is medial side. This is common iliac artery. This is external iliac artery, which is later on continued as femoral artery. This is internal iliac artery, and the internal iliac artery just after its origin, this iliac artery just after its origin gives origin to the posterior division, and the anterior division is continued. We have to ligate the anterior division of the internal iliac artery in order to reduce bleeding from postpartum hemorrhage. So we have recognized the bifurcation. Now we have to recognize which one is internal iliac artery. External iliac artery is a lateral structure and internal iliac artery is a medial structure. When we apply pressure on the external iliac artery and press it, then the femoral pulse will go, because femoral artery is a continuation of the external iliac artery. And when we release this pressure, the femoral pulse will come. So this is how we recognize external iliac artery. When we apply the same pressure on the internal iliac artery, there will be no change in the femoral artery pulsation. So this is how internal iliac artery is confirmed. So we have recognized internal iliac artery. Now our next thing we have to do is we have to recognize the site where the artery needs to be ligated. Now how to identify the anterior division? Normally in the pool of blood, this posterior division is not seen. But you see here that this posterior division is given very soon after the origin of the internal iliac artery. And if we measure the distance from here, then see from the bifurcation, within 3 centimeter, this branch of posterior division is given out. So we can safely ligate this anterior division of the internal iliac artery 3 centimeter below the bifurcation.
So
now
it is clear.
In live surgery, how will we identify this? See, if I place my thumb here, then the length of my folded thumb is around 3 centimeter. So I just put my thumb here at the beginning of the bifurcation, and around 3 centimeter, this is the place where I can recognize the internal iliac artery needs to be ligated. So now I have identified the site also. Now next is how to do the dissection. Before that, I'll show you this instrument. This is right angle forceps, also called Mixter forceps. It is bent at 90 degree and it has a point, but it is not sharp. I use only this instrument for dissection and for ligation. So how to proceed for dissection? See, there is a sheath-like structure. I have used my kitchen cling film to give the appearance of the sheath. It covers all the vascular bundles. Like
Both
this is
internal
internal
iliac
iliac
artery
vein,
and
this is this is internal iliac artery, this is internal iliac vein. They are enclosed in a sheath. So in order to ligate the internal iliac artery, we have to remove the part of the sheath. Now I do not remove the sheath along the whole length of the internal iliac artery. I remove the sheath only at the place where I need to ligate the internal iliac artery. And look at the movement. Here I am separating the sheath because this is my proposed site of ligation, and my movement will be like this, parallel to the sheath. Never do like this because it will end up injuring the internal iliac vein below, and that will be a massive bleeding. So I am separating it like this. This is my proposed site of ligation.
This movement is parallel to the vessel.
So I am separating it like this. Now I have separated this. Now next step is I have to pass a silk thread. I use number 1 silk below the artery. And one very important thing is that when we have to pass the right angle forces from lateral to medial on both the sides.
Lateral
if I
to
pass
medial
from medial to lateral, then again there are chances of injuring the internal iliac vein. So this movement will always be from lateral to medial. And one more important thing, the wall of the artery is thick and the wall of the vessel is very thin. So when I pass this, then I will graze through the lower surface of the artery. My movement will be against the artery, not towards the vein, because
We'll apply more
if
pressure
I make
on
it
the
like this, then I will puncture the vein. So these are 2-3 precautions and important points. Now I will pass this right angle forces at the proposed site of ligation from lateral to medial, and my assistant will show me a silk thread. Look at the thread. This is a silk thread. Number one. Just how I make the silk. I made it double, making a loop like this. And my assistant will give this to me. I have already made a place here for ligation, passing the right angle portion from lateral to medial. You can see loop is already there, ready. Gently I will open it, and I will get hold of the loop, and just gently I will come out like this. Your instrument is grazing through the wall, through the wall of the artery. Now next step is I will cut this and make 2 threads. So with one instrument movement I made 2 threads. Can you appreciate this? Now my assistant will help me in identifying the threads. So this decreases the chances of injury to the vessels. Yeah, I've done it. This is one thread, and this is another thread. See, this is plain, and this is another thread. Now I have to apply 2 ligatures, 0.5 to 1 mm apart. So look at the technique of applying ligature. So we apply 2 ligatures. Now look at the technique. I am not pulling the artery. If I pull the artery, then it will just get torn and will come by my hand, and there will be massive bleeding. So I am giving respect to the artery, going up to the superior surface of the artery and just applying knot. This is 1 turn and this is 2 turns second turn. In the first and I tied it here. Then very gently I applied the second throw. Like it. And again very gently I applied the third throw. Without pulling the artery, I myself cut this. Never pull the artery. Just without giving any pull on the suture, I cut this. Now taking the second thread, this is 0.5 to 1 mm away. I made 1 turn and 2 turn. This is a square knot, and I applied the suture here. This is how. Again, I am not pulling the artery. I am going up to the superior surface of the artery. So, the very important message is that you have to pass, as Dr. Bhaskar Pal has also said, pass the right angle forceps from lateral to medial. Lateral to medial, lateral to medial, and lateral to medial. Because if we go reverse, then we will injure the external iliac vein. So now this is a real case. Maybe I might be taking more than 2 minutes more, but I have to share this. This was a 26-year-old primary gravida with full-term pregnancy, booked initially in one facility. Then she had ANC at one Anganwadi center. Then she had labor pain on 23rd November 2022 and rushed to 3rd hospital at night. Went into obstructed labor, taken to another 4th private hospital, undergone emergency cesarean section for 2nd stage arrest and the spinal anesthesia at 8 a.m. And she had an episode of postpartum hemorrhage at 10:15 a.m. and which was managed medically. So delivery at 8 a.m. and postpartum hemorrhage at 10:15 a.m. they noticed. Then she had again second episode of postpartum hemorrhage at 12:30 p.m. and she developed shock. So they took her to OT, and under saddle block anesthesia, the obstetrician did left lateral cervical tear repair and a posterior vault repair. And she was given 1 unit of PRBCs and 4 units of, further 4 units of PRBC, 4 FFP and platelets. Then after 11 hours at 7:15 p.m., the patient went into shock again. And she was resuscitated and referred to me with 5th unit of PRBC on flow. So when we received the patient, her pulse was 146, BP is looking normal, 104/60. But when you see in depth, her shock index was more than 146/104. And her uterus was soft, per abdomen was soft and uterus contracted, per vagina there was significant bleeding. I took no time in making the decision of opening the abdomen in this case. So I opened the abdomen with the right paramedian incision, and there was a huge broad ligament hematoma on the posterior surface extending from the fundus to the colpos. So we performed the hysterectomy in that case. And now after hysterectomy, there was slight oozing here and there, so we performed an internal iliac artery ligation. This is a real case, and the video is unedited. From incision to the procedure, less than around 6 minutes. Just watch this. So here I will go through round ligament pedicle. Hysterectomy done. This is round ligament pedicle. Can you appreciate this? Please, all lights off. This is the peritoneum from the round ligament pedicle which I am cutting and moving laterally, parallel to the infundibulopelvic ligament towards the lateral pelvic wall. Please put off all the lights. So can you appreciate this? The thin peritoneum I am cutting without injuring the structures which are lying below. Now I've kept all the instruments, and with my 2 fingers I am opening the loose areolar tissue. At this moment you should not have any instrument in your hand. This is the inverted Y which I am going to see. Because of lights, this resolution is not seeing that good.
No, it is
Visible? Okay. So this is common iliac, this is external iliac, this is internal iliac. This is inverted Y, you can appreciate, I think. External iliac, internal iliac on internal side, and this is inverted Y. जब तक आप inverted Y को नहीं देखते तब तक कुछ नहीं करोगे आगे. You have to make the inverted Y prominent. Now you see how I am doing it. Can you see it now? Please tell me whether you can see or not. Yes. This is, now I am pressing the external iliac artery and seeing the femoral pulse. It goes, and on lifting the pressure it comes. Then again I am pressing the internal iliac artery, and there is no change in femoral pulse. So it is doubly confirmed. Now I know that this is internal iliac artery, and I know that I have to go 3 centimeters below. Only at that place I will start ligation. So the movement of my mixture forces parallel to the vessel, because the internal iliac vein and artery, they both are enclosed in a sheath. So then you have to cut the sheath. You have to make a space between the artery and the vein. So this is what I am doing. You just see. The assistant is beautifully cutting it. Again. So I am not doing dissection along the whole length of the structure, only at the proposed site of ligation, which is 3 to 4 centimeters below the bifurcation. आप जितना लंबा उसको डिसेक्ट करो उतनी जगह आपकी इंजरी की चांस बढ़ जाएगी. नाउ दिस इज गोइंग lateral to medial, and or your instrument will graze through the artery. Artery जितनी मोटी होती है, जितनी बड़ी होती है उतनी मोटी होती है. Vein जितनी बड़ी होती है उतनी thin होती है. Now the loop has to be kept already ready. So the loop has been taken. Purpose of loop क्या है कि with one movement of this instrument you can make 2 threads. 2 movement instrument की करोगे तो there will be double chance of injury. So now it has been cut.
Madam.
Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. So very gently you have to separate the threads, that which one is continued with which one. This is an unedited video. That in grave emergencies, don't get panic and do this. So now I am applying the first ligature, 2 turns in the first knot and next 2 knots in reverse direction. Don't pull the artery. Bend your back and bow your head. Just put the knot on the surface of the artery. You are saluting the artery. It is the one of the biggest vessels of the body. तो artery को salute कर दीजिए. Now without pulling the artery, you cut it. Can you remove this?
He'll remove.
Okay, okay.
हटा दीजिए इनको.
Yes. So without pulling the artery, you have cut it. Can you see the first ligature in place? Here. Now second ligature is being, it is 0.5 to 1 centimeter away from the first one. It doesn't matter which one you make first and which one you make second. And you have seen here that posterior division is usually not seen in a pool of blood. So posterior division को देखने के लिए मत कोशिश कीजिए. Just go 3 to 4 centimeter below the bifurcation of the common iliac artery. So the second, you just see a bulge, beautiful bulge between the 2 sutures. Can you appreciate this? Please tell me. So the on internal iliac artery, we apply 2 sutures. We never cut it, remember? We never cut it. It is just like this. Only 1 minute, only 1 minute. So now you see internal iliac artery with 2 ligatures, external iliac artery, and this is common iliac artery. Thank you. Ma'am, yeah. Yes. Ma'am, एक slide मेरे को और बोलने दीजिएगा.
हाँ, जरूर जरूर.
So I have performed more than 110 internal iliac artery ligations in last 22 years in Dindal Upadhyay Hospital, and these are my own tips, not copied from any of the books. Open retroperitoneum from round ligament to infundibular pelvic ligament, that is the easiest method. And for this is for anterior approach. For posterior approach, you make a nick on the peritoneum 2 centimeter below and 2 centimeter lateral to the circle promontory, lift the peritoneum and cut it. Then once you open the peritoneum, do only finger dissection. Don't use any instrument that time, otherwise instrument will prick and injure the vessel. Then locate the bifurcation, that is inverted Y and inverted Y. Then recognize internal iliac artery as a medial structure, which does not cause any change in the femoral pulse. External iliac artery does cause change in femoral pulse. Then movement of your right angle or mixture forceps always from lateral to medial, never the reverse. Then careful not tying in the cavity. आप artery के सामने झुक जाओ, उसको उठाओ मत. Then 2 ligatures 0.5 to 1 centimeter apart. Or one very important point, always do bilateral. लोग कहते हैं कि मैंने तो एक करा, एक करेंगे तो effect भी आधा मिलेगा. Always do bilateral. Chances of free laparotomy and morbidity increases if you do single internal iliac artery ligation. This is from literature. And for beginners, first start opening the retroperitoneum in gynecological hysterectomy and take help from your surgeon friends. So this is my journey. Initially opening the retroperitoneum in gynae hysterectomy, then I observed 2 to 3 cases, then in obs case assisted 4 to 5 cases, then performed 3 to 4 cases under supervision of a surgeon friend, and then in obstetrics whenever it was required. It is preferable to take the assistance of senior colleague or surgeon friend. This is my patent model which I have got for that instrument. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
Your practical points were very, very good. Especially one point that you haven't referred in your summary, that was the direction of the mixture when you are dissecting the fascia. Only dissect the fascia in the area where you are going to ligate. Don't be overzealous and don't try to dissect from above to downwards.
Exactly.
And the second point, that is the direction of the mixture. Don't poke it down and put it parallel. I think these 2 practical points were really golden words. And as practitioners, we know how important this is. And for juniors, the other point that you said, always see the bifurcation.
Yes.
Don't ligate anything without seeing the bifurcation. Palpate the femoral pulse and don't try to see the posterior branch. If you are just tying it 3 to 4